Hey everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. So today we're making a dish that I haven't served in a really long time, and I don't know why, I just haven't. It's kind of weird. But it's something I used to cook for my kids quite a bit when they were growing up. They loved it, and it's easy. And as a matter of fact, the name is Easy Cheesy Chicken. I mean, who doesn't like those three words? It's easy, it's cheesy, and it's chicken. Fantastic. So I always served it boneless when they were growing up. That's just the way the recipe was given to me, God, probably 25 years ago. I don't even remember now where I got it. But today I'm going to switch it up, and we're going to do it with bone-in chicken because that's what I have. We raise our chickens. I have lots of bone-in chicken. That's what I'm using, which will be even better, I think. So I'll tell you real quick. The recipe is written out for bone-in because that's what I'm going to do from now on, because I'm all about the bone with the meat because it gives you minerals and it's just so much better for you than boneless. Not that I don't cook with boneless, but bone-in is better. So any chance you can cook with bone-in is better. And it's less expensive, which is always bonus if you're buying it. But if you are going to do boneless meat, then the only place that you'll really change up is at the very beginning. We're going to season our chicken, pop it in the oven, let it roast. Simple enough. If you're doing boneless, you'll season it and you'll sear it in a skillet. Again, easy. And then you put it in the baking pan and then go on with the sauce that we'll pick up and make. So neither one of them are real hard to do, but sticking a pan in the oven is a lot easier or less hands-on. Not that it's that hard to pan sear, but it's just less hands-on time. So you can pop it in the oven, let it go, make your sauce. Then when it comes out, you pour it over, you put it back in the oven. That's all there is to it. So the hands-on time is really low, which makes it fantastic. So let me flip the camera down and we'll get busy. Now I am doubling the recipe today because I wanted to have some to put in the freezer. Don't let that freak you out. So what you're going to see, and I may slip up and say the double measurements, although I'm going to try and stay true to the recipe and what I'm saying, even though I'm going to be doubling, so hopefully I can keep it together on that. But if I don't, follow the recipe and you won't have any problems, even if I say the wrong thing. Okay? So let's get busy. So what we've got here is I'm using leg quarters because that's what I have. The boneless recipe, you're usually using thighs. I wouldn't do it with a breast because I think it'd be really dry, but that's, you do what you want to do. But I'm not even going to bother with splitting these. You could do all legs, all thighs, quarters, however you want to do it. But the recipe calls for 2 pounds of bone-in chicken, and you're just going to season it with salt and pepper, and just season it like you would an egg. I mean, it's really that simple. If you like a lot of salt, give it a little extra. If you don't like a lot of salt, then back it down. I will tell you, I haven't made this for a really long time in the restaurant because I've been dairy-free up there for the last probably 8 years. I started out doing dairy, and then I went all dairy-free, and actually now I'm kind of moving back into dairy. That's a long story. Anyway, dairy-free cheese it doesn't work as well with this. It's not bad, but it's not as good. Dairy is where it's at for this dish. And I'll also say that dairy cheese has more salt than dairy-free cheese. So if you do decide to do this dairy-free, you'll want to up your salt a little bit because there's just not much salt in dairy-free cheese. So you do this, and now it's going to go in a 400-degree preheated oven, uncovered, for 30 minutes. So I'm going to stick that over there, and then we'll pick up with the next step. Now we're going to start making the sauce, and I'm telling y'all, this could not be any more simple. So you're going to start out with a tablespoon of butter, and I got that in the bottom. I already threw it in there in the bottom of my pan. We're just going to melt this down. Then you're going to add 10 ounces of cream of mushroom soup, and I've got my homemade cream of mushroom soup. And remember, I'm doubling, so this looks like a lot because I'm doubling. We're going to add this in there. And y'all, please make your own chicken or cream of whatever soup. Cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery, cream of whatever you want it to be. Because it is super simple, and then it's all real food. That mess in the tin can is garbage. Whoa, splattered that out. That was good. And actually, I have a video on my YouTube channel on making this exact one. And it's incredibly simple, and it freezes beautifully. Somebody asked me the other day, a friend of mine, actually one of our patrons, asked me if she could pressure can it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know why not. I just have never done it. So hopefully if Erin gets that done, she'll let us know how it turned out. But I just always freeze mine. And I'll do it in 10-ounce and 20-ounce containers. And then if I'm doing one recipe, just like you'd buy a tin can and dump it in there, I dump in one of my little delis. If I'm doubling the recipe like I just did, then I do a 20. So very, very, very simple. And making it, and see, you can actually see the lumps of mushroom. And if you don't like mushrooms, if you want it smaller, mince it smaller. Super easy. But I really encourage you to do that. So anyway, we've got our melted butter, our cream of mushroom soup. Now we're going to add our half teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of paprika. And stir both of those in real good. And then while the mixture is hot, we will add in one egg yolk. Now, here's the key to this. If you separated your yolk from your white and then just dumped your yolk straight in there, it's going to cook. And you're going to have little chunks of cooked egg yolk, and you don't want that. I mean, it wouldn't ruin it, but it's just not going to give it that creaminess that the egg yolk gives this recipe. So what we'll do, just trying to make sure all my seasoning's mixed in, is we're going to separate our eggs, and then I'm going to take a little of the hot soup mixture and put it in the egg yolk and stir it real good to raise the temperature of the yolk, and then dump it back in here and keep going with it. That way, it's much less likely that you're going to cook any of that egg yolk. Now, I am pretty basic when I'm separating my eggs. You know, some people will flip it back and forth between the, let me turn my heat down just a little bit. I'll just turn it off for a second. You know, between the shell and get all fancy with it. I ain't that worried about it. I just do it like that. Because if you dump that in your hand, the main part of that white is going to blob out, and then you're going to have a clean yolk. So we'll do this one. The shell broke up a little bit. And see how that just blobs off of there? Simple, simple. Bloop, there we go. So this will get a lid and go in the fridge. And tomorrow morning when I do our breakfast scramble, I'll throw that in there. So now we're going to take our yolks and just kind of bust them up a little bit. And then just add, you know, a couple tablespoons. You don't have to be real scientific about it. Just the whole point is to raise the temperature of the egg yolk to the temperature of the soup so that it doesn't cook when you add it in there. It just gives it a really nice creaminess. So, got that mixed in real good. Now we're going to pour that in there. Y'all, I'm telling you, this sauce, as simple as it is, with the butter and the egg yolk and the seasoning on top of that chicken, is to die for. You know, we don't waste anything. Got to get every drip. And then you're just going to stir this around real good. And then from here, we're going to add in a cup of shredded cheese. So there's my shredded cheese. It's 1 cup, but I've got, you know, again, I'm doing 2 because I've doubled it, so it looks like a lot. And this is your sauce. I mean, you can't get any more simple than this, but I promise you the flavor is so tasty. It's so rich. I used to love to serve it over mashed potatoes with the kids because we were all mashed potato hounds. And it's so tasty that way. I don't have any potatoes made, and we just had mashed potatoes last night for supper. So I think I'm going to do some rice ramen or angel hair, one of those two. Either of those will be really good. Rice is really good if you like rice. So that's all you want to do there. Get this warm and then blend the cheese in. I'm actually going to wait a minute because we have to run out and feed our animals in the pasture. So I'm going to cut this off, let it just sit here because I don't want my cheese to get melted and get all nice and creamy and then come back up and get glumpy from setting up and getting cold and then heat it up again. So I'm just going to stop at this point. And then when we come back, I will show y'all. So this is just how you kind of adjust your stuff to what you're doing. I'll come back, turn it back on, add the cheese, get it on top of the chicken, and we'll get it back in the oven and we'll finish up. And y'all will see how incredibly easy and beautiful this dish is. Okay, so we are back. Turn this down just a tad. And we're going to start putting our cheese in. I usually do about half of the volume that I'm going to try and melt. Get it in there, stir it in real good, let it kind of melt some. I don't know, I find it works a little better as opposed to dumping a whole big block in, because usually your cheese is cold too, and then it's going to lower the temperature of your sauce, take it longer to warm back up and to melt. And I would recommend, stir it pretty frequently while you're doing this because it's a pretty thick sauce and you don't want it sticking to the bottom of the pot and burning. But so you can see, like you can already see this cheese kind of stringing. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll do the rest of it. I didn't quite get half the first time, but it was close. And then we'll just stir this around. And actually, I had a little change of plans. I was going to run out and feed a minute ago, and then I thought, you know what? I got 20 minutes till that chicken's done roasting for the first part. I'll wait, get my sauce finished, get the chicken out, pour it over the chicken, and then let it sit here, run out and feed, then come back and put it in the oven for the final step. So I kind of switched things up a little just to figure out which was better. And I need to make some chicken salad. We grilled some breasts the other night, and that makes the best chicken salad. Boiled some chickens. Well, I guess chickens, baby eggs, little eggs. Golly, I can't talk. So those will go in there. We love, love, love some fresh chicken salad. All right, this is looking really, really good. I'm going to turn this down some more. Okay, we've got about 8 minutes left before the chicken comes out of the oven, so I'm going to pause, let that finish. Then we'll put this on top, and then the last step is cover it with a little bit of foil, kind of tint it up so the foil's not getting down in the sauce, and back in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how big your legs or thighs or leg quarters are, and how hot your oven runs. They're all so different. So I'm guessing mine's probably going to take about 35 or 40 minutes. So we'll be back in just a bit. Okay, so I just pulled the chicken out of the oven, and as you can see, there's a little bit of liquid in the bottom. Oh, my ice maker just dropped. That's fine. I leave it there. I don't drain that out. I mean, if that bothers you, you can, but it's just fat and goody out of the chicken. All right, so we've got our nice gooey sauce. So I'm going to just kind of make sure that we cover each piece really well. Y'all gonna love this. Your kids are gonna love this. I mean, who doesn't love cheesy anything? But a cheesy roasted piece of chicken, yeah, baby. So I always make sure that I get my chicken covered really well first, and then just kind of pour the rest in the pan. As it cooks, it's going to run off and run all over. But I just want my Whew, that's heavy. Make sure that my meat's good and covered with the sauce, because that's a good part. So yeah, whatever you serve this with, make sure it's something rice, potatoes, pasta, zoodles, you know, broccoli rice, cauli rice, I mean, whatever your jam is, because you do not want to miss out on any of this gravy. Listen to that sizzling as it's hitting the pan. So that's it, peeps, as far as this step. I'm just going to finish making sure I get this last bit in here. And everybody's covered real good. And then I'm going to pop this. Did I say earlier it was covered? I think I did. That was a snafu. This isn't covered. Oh, what the heck I'm thinking. This dish is uncovered. I just remember saying that a minute ago. I don't know why. I don't know. Thinking about something else, I guess. Who knows? But this will go back in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes just to finish cooking your chicken. Let your sauce kind of get all down into your chicken. And oh my gosh, it's so good. So I'm going to stop here and stop drooling over my pan. And then when I come out of the oven, or it comes out, not me, I'm not getting the oven. When I pull it out of the oven in a little while, I'll show y'all the final product. But that's easy cheesy chicken. Y'all got to try it. It is heaven. So we'll be back in just to show you the final product. Okay, here it is. There it was in the pan. I've already scarfed out two servings on top. Kind of made a mess right there. That one's prettier. There you go. Y'all give this a shot. It's so stinking good. I think I'll put a little more sauce on that one. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. It's very yummy. Your kids will love it. Everybody will love it. Give it a try. See you back on the next video.